YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is back with some more record predictions for the upcoming 2018 season. Today's video, we're covering the LA Chargers. We did a few AFC West teams already and a lot of other teams, so if you haven't seen those, go check them out. We're doing the Chargers here, then the Raiders, then the NFC West, then I'll predict the playoffs, and then the Super Bowl. And we got plenty more NFL coverage leading up to the NFL season. Then during the year, weekly NFL pick'ems. Also, this weekend, we're going to get a few of the Frogs Angels guys together. They're going to make their predictions kind of like I did here, so you guys get a different perspective on things. So that should be fun. For these videos, we're using the website playoffpredictors.com. Link is in the description of the videos. Go click on it, check it out. Cool website. But the Chargers, let's break them down. I like this football team. You know, looking at them on paper, I really like this team. Very balanced team. You know, there's some holes I can point out. You know, like a lot of the really good teams that are pretty balanced. I try to find the holes that they're not. I wouldn't really call them holes. It's just things that could get a little better. But overall, a very good team. Starting with the offense, very balanced offense, very good offense. Phillip Rivers has been playing pretty darn good. Looking at guys that he was drafted, who was in his draft class, I should say. Roethlisberger and Eli Manning. I think Rivers, obviously those guys had the better careers, but I think right now Rivers is the better out of that group, which is very impressive to me at their age, at his age. Running back Melvin Gordon, obviously consider him one of the top in the NFL. His weakness coming out of college was catching the ball in the backfield. He's improved by a lot in that category, so very impressive. I think he'll continue to be one of the better backs in football. This receiver unit may be as a unit, may be one of the best in football. If Keenan Allen's healthy, very fun to watch, healthy last year, so let's hope he stays healthy again. Mike Williams was my number one receiver in last year's draft class. He will step up. There's no way this guy is going to be a bust. No way. Tyrell Williams, very solid. Travis Benjamin's got his speed. Very solid receiver unit. So we know what to expect. Even if a guy isn't performing to his best of ability, you got other guys that will. So very impressive. Hopefully they stay healthy. That's really the only concern. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, health concerns in the past, but I think they'll be okay. Offensive line 2 years ago was maybe one of the worst in the league, and then last year one of the best in the league. And they got young guys, Dan Feeney and Forrest Lamp. So that is extremely impressive. Those guys will be good offensive linemen in their careers. So very good last year, and they got those guys to keep growing with them. So this offense, you know, I can't find any holes in this offense. Just got to stay healthy, really. That's all it is. On the defensive side, a very good defense, getting better and better under Gus Bradley as well. They draft Derwin James. They steal him, in my opinion. I didn't think he was going to drop that late, so that's going to help him a lot. The pass rushers, Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, do a whole lot for this team. You can expect Joey Bosa to get better and better. That can create pressure, can create bad throws. Guys like Derwin James, Casey Hayward, Desmond King, those guys are going to get turnovers. So even though Jason Verrett got hurt, you know, a lot of people, you kind of, deep down, you kind of had to expect it. But they got pretty good depth. I really like Desmond King. They stole him a year ago. Really stopping the run is a little bit of a question. They struggled a little bit last year. They got pretty well-known guys in Mebane and Legit. So do those guys step up? The linebacker unit, you know, it could get better, but it's a pretty solid unit overall. I like the young guys they got. Nwosu is a guy that can sub in and maybe fill a couple different roles. He can get after the quarterback. So I really like this roster. Very talented, and even though it's a win-now team, it's heading in the right direction for the future as well. So really what it is, you look at this team, there's no excuses. It should be a 10-plus win team, I think. But does it actually happen? Can you see the Chargers? It is a little hard seeing the Chargers going and getting 12 wins. They can do it, but let's see how the schedule unfolds here. Let's see how we have the matchups happening here. We got week 1 home against the Chiefs. Yeah, everyone's saying the Chargers can't start off good. You know, that last few years that's how it's been, but I think it's kind of a coincidence. I think that they're a much better team now, so I think they'll start off okay here. Home against the Chiefs, I got the Chargers. I think they're the better team. The Chiefs may have a pretty darn good offense, but Chargers at home, I think they're better. I'll take the Chargers. And then the Bills in week 2 in Buffalo. So, I mean, you really can't count out the Bills, but I think they'll struggle this year. I think the Chargers are the much better team. I will take the Chargers. Week 3 is against the Rams, LA versus LA. This one I'm kind of back and forth on. I think most people would say right away the Rams are the better team. I'd say not so fast. I think it's pretty darn close. I think the Chargers defense I think they can get some pressure on Goff here, but can they stop Gurley? The Rams are home here, even though it stays in LA, it's still an advantage. I think that and can the Chargers start 3-0? So for those reasons, I will take the Rams. Could go either way, though. Love that matchup. Similar teams, both very good teams, contender teams possibly. Week 4 home against San Francisco. I like the Chargers in that one. I think they're better. I think they can slow down that Niners offense and win that game. Week 5 home against the Raiders. Raiders offense could get going like it has in the past this year. See if Derek Carr can get going. But I think the Chargers will be able to put up a good amount of points against that Raiders defense, and their defense will play well too. So I like the Chargers. Week 6 is in Cleveland. Man, you can't count out the Browns in this one. On paper they look like they can compete with a team like the Chargers, but will they? Will they be able to at week 6? Will they be shuffling quarterbacks, players in and out like they usually do? I like the Chargers here. Week 7, London game against the Tennessee Titans. Kind of back and forth in this one because I did do the Titans video. If I remember correctly, it was a little while ago. If I remember correctly, I picked the Chargers. Kind of back and forth, though. I think, Chargers stopping the run could be an issue. I think a little bit of a different offense here. I think they'll run Mariota a lot between Derrick Henry and Deion Lewis. I don't think one of them is going to look outstanding, but put them together, it's going to look very, very good. It's going to be dominant. So Chargers defense could struggle a little bit in this one. So I'm actually going to take the Titans now. And another thing, through week 7, they can only have one loss to the Rams. I think 2 is more realistic for the Chargers. Bye week, week 8, coming off the bye week, I like them over the Seahawks. Could go either way here with going against Russell Wilson, a little bit of a different matchup game, maybe similar to Mariota, but then going against them, going to the bye week. I think that's perfect the way that lined up for them. I think that's perfect. So I like the Chargers in week 9. Week 10 against the Raiders. I think the Raiders get some offense going here. I think their offense gets better and better as the season goes on. Not that they'll be a better, more complete team than the Chargers by this point, but rival game. I'll take the Raiders at home there. They get offense going. Week 11, home against the Broncos. I think it's just a bad matchup for the Broncos. I think the defense of the Broncos could slow down the Chargers a little bit, but that Chargers defense, I think, is starting to rise above the Broncos defense. Could be very close because they do have a guy like Von Miller. The Chargers do have guys like Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, both on outside, rushing the passer. I don't think the Broncos score much points in that game in LA. I'll take the Chargers. Against the Cardinals, I like the Chargers in that one as well. Good home games. They're coming out at the right time here. Week 13 is in Pittsburgh. It's a tough one. Very tough. I think it honestly could be a similar matchup problem for the Steelers as when they play the Jaguars. I think it could be similar. It is in Pittsburgh. Even though the Chargers defense is pretty good, the secondary should be good. It was tough with the Vret injury, but the Steelers could air it out on them. This is very tough. I think the matchup slightly favors the Chargers, but it's in Pittsburgh. 8-3 at this point, man. When I usually can't decide, I usually go with the home team, so I will take the Steelers. I think home field advantage has really grown. It's always been very important, but I think over the years it's been at an all-time high, insanely important, mainly in the playoffs, but also in the regular season. So that's a battle. Could go either way, so I take the Steelers there. Home against the Bengals. Bengals sleeper team. I think they can scare some teams each week. Not that they'll be super good, but they can upset some teams is my point. But I like the Chargers in that one. I don't think the Bengals will be able to score too many points to win the game against the Chargers. Week 15 in Kansas City. It's Thursday night. That's big time home in Kansas City. Thursday night football against a rival team, division team. Similar to the Raiders. I think it'll be a similar match with the Raiders. I think the Chiefs get the offense going more and more as the season goes on with young Patrick Mahomes. New receiver like Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill's still young. So I think the Chiefs win this one, get some offense going. Week 16's home against the Ravens. Ravens, pretty balanced team. Don't know if they'll score enough points on the Chargers defense to win. I think the Chargers can put up points pretty much on anybody. Really the thing with that offense, I said there was no weaknesses, but The thing is, it's a very good offense, but you compare them to teams like the Steelers, teams that have high-powered offenses. Steelers, Patriots, Rams last year, maybe they continue that. Maybe the Falcons you throw in there, the Packers, the Saints, teams like that. Can they keep up with those teams? You view the Chargers as I view them as a very good offense on paper, very good on the field too. Can they keep up scoring with those type of teams? I don't think they can, but the difference is their defense is better than those teams. So we'll see if the offense really gets going. They need to stay healthy, obviously, first off, but Week 17 is in Denver. In the Broncos video, I picked the Chargers. Was kind of back and forth on this one, but I think it's a bad matchup for the Broncos. May not mean that much for them at that point, too. So I have 11-5. I think looking at their team, I think they're a 12-win team. It could even be 13. I think very low is 10. But then again, the Chargers can. It's kind of hard to see them. It's not really a good reason for not having them win. I mean, I do have them winning over 10, but it's just a little hard to see them. But, if you've seen the Eagles step up out of nowhere too. But the Chargers were very good at the end of last season. There's no reason that they should be. They got to win over 10 games. 10 games, they got to win 10 or more games. Looking at this team. Pretty disappointing if they don't. Can they start off good? That's the main question here. I believe they can. I think it's a coincidence, and I think the players are better now. So those first 3 games, they could lose to the Chiefs in Week 1, and then like I have them losing the Rams in Week 3. So they could start off 1-2, but I still wouldn't be worried about bouncing back. I think there's no reason they should win 2 games pretty easily in the top 3 there. Like I said, they could beat the Rams. I mean, they could. It's tough. That Titans game's tough. They could win that. The division game should be pretty good. The Broncos maybe the weakest team in the division, pretty close though. But I mean, I have the Chargers going 2-0 against them. They could put up a fight with them. But I really think 9 wins is the very, very least. Looking at this team on paper, I think 9 is, it's not acceptable. But I would say 9 is the very least. It's what it should be. I think 10, 11. Really, it almost looks like a 12, even 13 possibly win team. It's just hard to see that at this point. But I like this team a lot. I think it's a playoff team easily. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Our subscriber goal is 10K subscribers, so please help us out by clicking the subscribe button. And it'd be much appreciated if you click the like button as well to help us out. But that'll do it for this one. Stay tuned for more. We're almost to the playoff predictions. We're almost to football season. I mean, we kind of are. Preseason's pretty, it's okay. It's good to see football again, but the injuries and the new helmet rule, the penalties are a little ridiculous, but I'm glad football's back. I don't think that'll be anywhere near as an issue as it is right now in the regular season, but we'll see. We will see. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That'll do it for this one. Goodbye.